to the NFL. We're gonna go over some playoff scenarios right now. To win the AFC South, it is Jags Titans on Saturday. Jags, whoever wins, they're in. There is a scenario where the Jags can lose and still get in. They need the Dolphins, Patriots, and Steelers to all lose
How in the
for
world does
that
that
to
make any
happen.
sense?
What in the hell? Or is that just everyone?
They'd all be 8-9.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What a shit show.
Right?
Some of these scenarios are just absolutely wild.
Yes.
What the
So
hell?
I'll go over them, and then for the AFC North, Bengals Ravens, whoever wins, both teams are in. They're just playing for a seed.
They're playing for a home game and
Yep.
probably a chance to play the Chargers.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Call me crazy here. I'm pumping the brakes on this real quick. Would I almost wait for it, folks, rather lose that game and then have to play Jacksonville on the road?
They're
Round
playing
one?
really
Even
well
though I
right
don't
now.
know if you'd want to play Jacksonville on the road, because that place, when they are good, they get rowdy. That
That's
pool
true.
will be filled up. It's gonna be hot.
Oh, it's going to be hot.
That offense is starting to click a little.
And Trevor Lawrence in a big game, that I've seen it enough time. That dude shows out.
He's usually pretty good.
Yep.
And, their defense is flying around right now, too.
Yeah.
And, Dougie P could have benched some starters last week and said, no, this game don't matter. But he gave the Texans everything they could handle.
He took everyone out.
That was a good win for them, where they just went on the road, going into it again, did what they should have against a lesser opponent, and just humiliated them.
I understand Houston's like 2-13-1 on the year, but anytime you go on the road in the NFL and put up 31, 34 points and only give up 3, you're doing something right.
It was like 21-0 at half or something, and it wasn't close.
Do you guys want to hear the scenario for the 7th wild card for each team that's
stupid.
in the running?
I need it all. My brain confused.
Okay, so we'll start with which we already covered the Jaguars for the 7th seed. Who of the 3 teams do you guys want next? Patriots? Dolphins? Actually, you know what? No, you know what? We're gonna go Steelers because I don't think I named the episode, but we named this is episode 58, so it is the Jack Lambert and Derek Thomas episode.
Shout out to Derek Thomas.
Honorable mention Von Miller.
58's a good number. Good NFL number.
It's a very underrated number. Do you guys know who Jack Lambert is?
Well, duh.
Okay. Ethan, do you?
I honestly have no idea.
He was a linebacker for the Steelers. Was missing. Just look the guy up, and you'll understand why we named the episode after him. So the Steelers, which great job by Mike Tomlin. That throw Kenny Pickett made on Sunday night was an incredible throw. That is an NFL throw, and that's why they drafted him. Because when he threw that, Najee Harris wasn't open. But by the time the ball got there, he was open. Steelers won. And now Mike Tomlin's got a chance. If they beat the Browns, he's still never going to have a losing season in the NFL.
That's incredible.
And they seem to like the direction they're going with Kenny Pickett. I still think defense outside of the pass rush needs a lot of help. I still got to work on that offensive line, but that's an off-season podcast where we'll figure out the Steelers' struggles. Maybe Mike Zier will come back on and discuss the Steelers with us because he's a Steelers fan. But so the Steelers, they have to beat the Browns. They need the Dolphins to lose and the Patriots to lose.
Okay.
The Dolphins, they need to win. They need to beat the Jets and the Patriots to lose. Doesn't matter what the Steelers do because the Dolphins have the head-to-head.
Type. One question on the Dolphins. Who's their quarterback?
Yes. It'll be Skylar Thompson and Mike Glennon.
Oh, boy.
To be honest, Skylar Thompson hasn't been terrible.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't? No.
And who do the Dolphins play?
Their offensive line and the play calling has not helped them out at all.
Mike McDaniel is.
And wasn't he their the running game czar in San Francisco, the quote unquote running game czar?
Well, yeah, he put it together. He didn't call plays though.
Yeah.
But allegedly his title was offensive coordinator / running game coordinator.
Well, if he runs,
I'll say this: he's done a better job than Nathaniel Hackett. So
he's got that going for him.
The bar was pretty low with him.
Also true. And then the Patriots, they have to beat the Bills. They have to beat the Bills, or the Dolphins have to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back up. So they win versus Bills.
They're in.
So they win it in. That's the clearest route.
Okay.
If they don't win, they need the Dolphins to lose, Steelers to lose, and the Jaguars to win.
Okay, so here's my question. What happens if the Jaguars lose, the Patriots lose? Well, I guess if they all lose, the Patriots would keep it.
No, so if the Patriots, Dolphins, Steelers,
and Jags lose,
the Jags would be in.
Oh, that's
because that was the first scenario I said, is that the Jaguars get in if they lose versus the Titans and a loss by the Dolphins, Patriots, and Steelers. This league, baby.
That's just absolutely dookie.
You know what, I'm here for it. I hope it happens.
So there's going to be absolutely utter chaos this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. So what do you guys think happens? What are your brain biscuits turning up in your heads of yours? What's going to happen? What do you guys think happens? I think the Jags beat the Titans. The Titans are just way too beat up. It sounds like Derrick Henry's going to play. I think.
Well, yeah, but they're starting Joshua Dobbs at quarterback.
That's why I think the Jags win. We also probably shouldn't underestimate Mike Vrabel, but
the problem is
they're almost too beat up, and I think it's too much to overcome. So Jags win. Jags are the 4 seed, right?
Yes.
Bengals, Ravens. Lamar's it doesn't sound like Lamar's playing. I don't know if he's even practiced yet.
I think the Bengals are going to come out a little sluggish just because of what they saw on Monday night, but the Bengals win.
Yes, and that game, that's an 11 o'clock game. That game's at home as well.
Yeah.
Skyline Chili will be flowing.
They lost earlier this year in Baltimore, too.
Yeah, I think, and the Bengals are playing really, really well, too.
Oh, yeah, they're hot.
That's another part of it. The Ravens have kind of limped their way in. They haven't, they might be like the most under-the-radar playoff team where they've just kind of chugged along throughout the year, and oh, hey, we clinched last week.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like almost. I don't know if you guys feel the same way about them, but
the Ravens are kind of forgotten about, and I think that
they're just always hurt.
That's the problem, and Lamar unfortunately misses the last 4 games of each season.
Yeah,
with either a bone bruise or a sprained knee like he has this year.
So
it's true.
So yeah, I think the Bengals win.
Okay. I think so. Now we get the wild card. Patriots, they play the Bills, and I know the Bills. They were back at work today. I know there wasn't much. It was basically meetings and a walkthrough. I'm sure they're still all shook up. That game.
It's in Buffalo.
That game is in Buffalo, so I bet you that crowd is going to be rallying behind them. That's going to be a tough one, I think, for the Patriots. I'll say they lose.
Patriots are done.
Yep. The Dolphins play the Jets. I don't know who's playing quarterback for either team. Whoever it is it going to be their starter at the start of the year next year? Because Tua's not playing. Teddy's out. Skylar Thompson is a rookie. And Mike Glennon, that guy hasn't won a game, and he's 0-10. Probably hasn't won a game since 2002.
His last start at North Carolina State.
Yeah. And then I think I've talked myself into it. I think the Steelers are going to be playing get that 7 seed.
I don't know. I don't care who the Jets put on the field at quarterback. I don't think it's better than anything the Dolphins are going to put out there.
Yeah. You know what, Ethan? I think the Dolphins sneak in.
No, I think the Dolphins win because, to Ethan's point, Skylar Thompson has been playing well, and it's a win or go home. And I think Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and Jeff Wilson are going to have something to say about this.
All due respect to former Gopher great Chris Streveler, if he's the best quarterback the Jets can put on the field, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're screwed if that's the point.
Yeah.
Well, is Mike White not playing?
He's back, but
he's back. But he's still.
His shelf life is about 5 to 6 games. It's very similar to
Taylor Heinicke.
like a Taylor Heinicke. Yeah, exactly. Like these guys are nice backups, and they can get you out of a jam. They're middle relief pitchers that they're basically glorified starters in the playoffs where they'll pitch 5 or 6 innings.
Or when Ethan calls it a bullpen game, you have that guy come out.
Yep. That's who those guys are. Nothing wrong with it. And you know what? They're gonna win they've made a hell of a lot of money.
They're guys you want to have in your facility.
Yep.
Because they're good backups. That your teammates, the whole team loves them, and the coaching staff loves them. They're going to prepare like they're starting. And when you're sitting in the sauna or the steam room afterwards, and you're hanging out with those guys, yeah, you want them in there. You want to have a beer with them, but they're not franchise guys.
Yep, for sure. So
I think the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins wiggle worm their way in.
I would agree. And let's go to the NFC scenarios. So this one, it's not as
it's more straightforward.
The wild card. It's a lot more straightforward, kind of. But so the NFC scenarios, the 1 seed. We'll go over the 1 seed. The Eagles, they clinched the 1 seed with a winner tie versus the Giants, which congratulations to the Giants. Brian Daboll is hands down a Coach of the Year candidate for sure. I mean, he made Daniel Jones look competent. Just an outstanding job by him. Giants are they're back in the playoffs since
the boat.
Well, yeah. Hopefully they all don't go down to Miami for a few days, like the last time. And so the Eagles will win with a winner tie, or the 1 seed with a winner tie versus the Giants, a Cowboys loss, or a 49ers loss. The 49ers get the 1 seed if they beat the Cardinals and the Eagles lose. And the Cowboys, there's still hope. So they won last week, so if we're on the roller coaster, they're still winning the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
Help me out here, guys.
That's okay. Of said ride. You're on your way up to the apex.
That's like my my jean short New Balance Des Bryant old school Cowboys jersey.
The faded haircut.
Yeah. That's like my stereotypical Cowboys fan.
It's the starter pack.
That's where we're going to we them boys, and we're going to the Super Bowl, right?
It's the Cowboys starter pack.
Okay, so we're still on that. So they can get the 1 seed if they beat the Commanders, and the Eagles lose, and a 49ers loss or tie.
ESPN says it's a 2% chance the Cowboys get the number 1 seed. So you're saying there's a chance?
I gotta get that. Get that for a button.
Yep. Well, can I answer this question in terms of the
yes
seed? It's gonna be the Philadelphia Eagles.
I would agree with you. That game's in.
It's in Philadelphia.
Yep.
And they're playing a team who's locked in as the 6th seed. I'm not saying they're gonna take their guys off and they're not gonna start anyone, because Brian Daboll might as well, kind of just like a Dougie P last week, keep these guys going and try to get the good mojo going. But I think Jalen Hurts is coming back, and Jalen tossed this Giants secondary a couple weeks ago. Absolutely cooked them, And I think the Eagles are going to be pissed off after losing 2 games in a row. I think Jalen comes back, calms the nerves. Eagles get the 1.
Okay, that's settled. The NFC East can be won with the Eagles win or the Cowboys lose. And for the Cowboys to win the East, it's just vice versa. Cowboys win, Eagles lose. So now this is where it gets fun, boys. The number 7 wild card. This is between 3 teams again. Well, no, the AFC was 4. Never mind. So Packers, most straightforward, easiest,
Win
it in. The Lions can get in if they beat the Packers. Seattle loses or ties, or they can tie the Packers and the Rams and Seahawks tie, and the Commanders beat the Cowboys. That's how the
Jesus.
Lions get in.
That's
How
gonna
is the
be a-
Commanders beating the Cowboys, who mathematically eliminate? Never mind. Just,
I don't know. I found it on the internet. I found it on CBS. It looked like a legit website. So, you know what? I went with it. I'm not sure what that has to do with any of it.
Some weird tiebreaker or something between.
Yeah,
all three of
that's
those
what I'm
teams.
thinking.
whatever.
Well,
So,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah. And Seattle gets in if they beat the Rams and a Packers loss or tie,
To the line.
or they tie the Rams and the Lions and Packers tie, and the Commanders lose or tie versus the Cowboys.
What is going on? That is so much to digest. I don't know what to say.
I think I figured out the whole if the Packers Lions and the Seahawks Rams tie, why Washington comes into it. It's got to be something because all 3 of those teams would be tied. It has to be something with conference record at that point.
And maybe
could be.
maybe they all played the Commanders
Well, the Packers lost to them.
and the Lions beat them.
The Lions beat them. Yep. And then Seattle beat the Lions.
Okay, yeah. So like
It
I
has
don't
to be
know,
a
and I don't know
conference
if Seattle and the Commanders. I don't know if Seattle and the Commanders played though.
I don't think they did, but to Ethan's point, it all comes down to record and conference.
I think that's what it comes down
Yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Still have no idea why that tie for whatever it is in there.
Yeah,
But
that's just straight dookie.
no idea.
I am not seeing Seattle. Yeah, Commanders and Seattle did not play this year.
But no. So I think it's going to come down to Sunday night. It's going to come down to Seahawks and Packers, because I think the Seahawks beat the Rams pretty easily.
That game is in Seattle. So
Yeah, the 12.
CenturyLink's going to be going bonkers.
The 12s are going to be fired up. The Rams, it's a lost year. With all these injuries and just, being shitty as the defending champs. They got their flights to Cabo booked. So I'm going to say the Seahawks win that. And I saw a stat today, guys, that Aaron Rodgers is 4-0 in playoff games where he needs a win in the last week of the regular season to get in. And I think we're going to make it 5-0 on Sunday.
Yeah.
But then,
we did say this though. We did after Hard Knocks and the Lions concluded.
they
we
were
did
going to knock
say this
people out of the
that
playoffs.
they would knock a team out of the playoff. Is this the game? Is this is if you're the Lions and you're looking at this, this is the game that you're looking at and saying this is where we really can say we as a franchise we've turned that corner of we aren't the lovable loser Lions that we've been for the last since Barry Sanders was there.
True.
I think
They win. And I think if Seattle wins in that afternoon game, I think that might even be a more dangerous Lions team because they have nothing to play for. They're going to be throwing the kitchen sink. And I mean,
they're Super Bowl.
Joe Barry is still the D coordinator for the Packers. He's bound to screw. I think if you're the D coordinator for the Packers, your job is to just screw shit up.
It's part of the job description.
Exactly. And their special teams is still they've been better, but they still have a lot of gas. They had a block punt last week against the Vikings, and we won't discuss that game at all because there was nothing to
Nope.
discuss
And that's
other than the block punt.
that was
The
a burn it
Packers-
type game. You burned
The
the tape.
Packers' play action pass or defense just still sucks, and that's literally what the Lions absolutely excel at. Like that is 100%
That's where Jared
the
Goff-
best in the league.
And Jared Goff, I believe, is 4-1 against the Packers lifetime.
Honestly, I think the Packers are going to lose, and a lot of it's going to be those two rookie DNs. They're going to create havoc.
So the Lions will play spoilers according to you guys on Sunday in Lambeau.
Yeah,
I
Seattle goes to the
have
playoffs.
not. I haven't said that yet,
Okay.
but I'm not going to be sad if the Cowboys, if Aaron Rodgers is not in the playoffs,
Well, why?
or the
Because
Packers at all.
if he gets
'cause
in, he's going to have to play the Niners and lose to them in the playoffs again.
this is also true, but just when the pack, there's so much better when it's so much better when Packer fans are quiet and they have nothing to say,
Well,
and they're not in the playoffs.
they can just go back to their Velveeta bath they were taking.
Yeah, exactly. Or their local creamery because they're not that special.
Well, yeah, where they only make $45,000 a year.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I hope the Lions get in. I think that would be fun to see. I think it would be absolutely electric at some point if they were ever to win the North and get a home game.
Oh, my
because
God.
the roof.
They might burn
That
Ford
place
Field
with the
down.
Bears, that place was nuts.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So, I guess we're